Hey there, everyone, and welcome to our first session of the Elder Scrolls of Guild and Coin. Um, Today we're going to be playing a homebrew version of Dungeons and Dragons, which is set in the world of Tamriel. And today I have a good selection of friends and friends and chaotic.
Enemies.
Okay, I was gonna say chaotic good friends, but it works. So, um, so just to get us all started, what we're gonna do is I'm going to have you guys all introduce your characters, their name, their race, and just a brief overview of who they are as a person. So, I think we'll start off with Bob. Are you able to do voice chat at the moment?
Yes.
Okay. Then I guess we'll start with Zira.
Okay. So, Ziraka is a 17-year-old red guard who appears to be 12 because she is very small, standing at a fearsome 4'7", or at least she claims to be. Trained as a warrior, she comes from a noble family and was traveling to Dunmer for hopeful peace talks or something of that sort, and then got totally effed over. And now she's gonna fight the world.
All right.
And one guy in particular. That guy, she's gonna take her time with.
The world plus one.
Whoa.
All right. Zoe.
Right. So first of all, I have never played Elder Scrolls, so if I botch up names, please just tell me so I can fix it.
No worries.
My character's name is Zoe Meowstrom, and I am a Khajiit Daji.
Cause she the
Is
I
that
don't
how
I
you
don't
say it?
I don't have the document open in front of me, but we'll roll with it.
Unprepared.
I am a fearsome sorcerer standing at 3 feet. I come from no family, and I was abandoned in the city, and that's one of the reasons why my last name is a joke. It was given to me by a dear friend, and it is very precious to me, and one day it will be a name to be feared.
Oh yeah.
I'm already terrified.
Fear the kittens.
All right. Tashtar.
Okay, my character is Tashdar, the Khajiit Nightblade. That is as far as I've got with this character as personality wise. I like to play things by ear with personality.
Same here.
Yeah. Speaking of same here, Lilith.
What? Oh, me. Okay. My character's name is Lilith Salin. I am a Dunmer, that's a dark elf bard. I do not have any of my personality things filled in because I am always unprepared, but I'm feeling more like a psychopath this game, so I may switch from being a protector to crazy in milliseconds, which is how I play D&D. So, anyways, that's me.
Sounds about right.
What could go wrong?
All right.
You know, Duncan.
And
And
Julinak.
Josh.
Hello, I'm Raven, and I will play Jonak, who is actually a city orc. Well, actually more of a town kind of orc. He grew up there. He does have a very long history of crime, but he's trying to redeem himself from all of that. But he keeps falling back into crime, so it's kind of complicated, which is why he's like a monk in order to find some inner peace and try to live a better life for himself. But he wants to try and make as much money as he can to own a city park from a very drunk owner, and just so he can live a better life with his friends, who actually are the ones who get him into trouble 90% of the time. Yeah. and
I.e.
yeah,
Lilith.
and Yeah, and she always like drank a glass of whiskey, but he never seemed to be drunk. So yeah, he's nicknamed the Dirty Dancer by people because he actually make a striking resemblance to an play actor named Patrick Swayze, and and he hates it. No one is allowed to call him the Dirty Dancer ever, unless you want to get socked in the face with his staff.
Brilliant. All right, so here we go. Doing something a little bit different with this with this campaign, in that we've got a lovely little framing device. So the fire in the pit crackled low and soft in the quiet of the Bannered Mare. Only a few patrons were here tonight. A couple of warriors passing through the region, a drunk mage in black robes, Sinmir, and even Ulfina Greymane snacking on cheese by the fire. Hulda stood near the bar, cleaning after a somewhat busy day. Michael stood near the stairwell, growing antsy in the quiet of the room. Nobody had requested any songs for almost 3 hours now, and his lute was growing cold, with no gold going into his pocket. "Bard, play something. The dark is getting oppressive." Sinmir's voice traveled easily in the warm room. Michael strummed his lute a little, warming up the strings. "All right. This is a song I'm sure you all know. We sing to our youth, to the days coming—" "Not that overdone piece of garbage, milk drinker!" A string snapped at the interruption, and Michael's mouth hung open for a moment. He'd never had anyone interrupt a performance in this inn before. Sinmir must have had 1 or 2 meads more than usual. He raked his mind for a song, but none came to mind. After a brief moment, he took a deep breath. "Fine, then." He peered over at Sadia, who was sweeping up the floor near the doorway to the kitchen. He had yet to woo her, and she seemed the type to not be interested in music. "Perhaps what we need tonight is a story. A tale of daring, of regaining honor lost, and of a war between leaders in Tamriel without the Empire." Sadia looked up from her work, as did Hulda, and Michael's spirits rose as they always did when an audience began to form. Our story begins long ago, during the 582nd year of the Second Era. The Empire has fallen into the hands of Mannimarco, the vile necromancer and traitor to the Emperor. 3 great alliances fight over the Ruby Throne: the Aldmeri Dominion with its elves and Khajiit, the Daggerfall Covenant with its Breton mages and Redguard warriors, and the Ebonheart Pact with dark elf sorcerers and proud Nord warriors. We all know of the Vestige's great deeds to defeat Mannimarco and drive back Molag Bal. But this was a time of war. Heroes came in all shapes and sizes in this conflict. And in the midst of the war, we find our own heroes, locked up in a cell, and soon to be executed. So not too long ago, you all have been rounded up and captured on the border of Morrowind for some reason or another. You've been taken to the city of Davonswatch, where you are now currently all imprisoned in a cell, stripped down to nothing but the most basic of cloth outfits, hands bound, and in the case of Julinak, gagged.
Oh, we're gagged. Ah, man.
You're not entirely sure where exactly you're at. Davonswatch does seem to be the best bet, however, as it is the nearest large coastal city, and the smell of salt water kind of permeates the air amidst the smell of the ash that falls from the nearby nearby ash mountain. Here the air is warm, but not so warm as to keep out the chill that comes in from the sea. Inside the cell, it's fairly damp and fairly dark, but not so dark as to prevent you from seeing one another. If you would like to talk with one another, you may.
I assume
I
we're
thought
all
we
in
were
different
gagged.
cells, correct?
No, you're gagged, Reven.
You guys are all tied up. You guys are all tied up in the same cell.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, fuck, I really don't want to go back to jail again.
Wait, who's
How
gagged?
are we bound?
So you guys are bound hands and feet, kind of chained to the wall. Julianak is currently gagged since he's
Shut your
capable
mouth,
of
Reed.
shouting.
Shut your mouth. You gagged.
Yeah, but during my gag, you can kind of make out like me saying like, "Oh, fuck, fucking girl."
Just
Okay.
a bunch of mumbling.
Yeah, so
Yeah, just a
I
moment.
didn't understand any of that. So great. Okay, cool. Okay. Can I kick Reven?
Go ahead and make an agility check
I'm
to.
not gonna kick Reven, but I thought about it.
Okay.
I reread Duncan's name as Trash Star.
Hey, that's
I just
know,
opened,
that's fair.
I opened Discord and it was like Trash Star. I was like, well, I'm not gonna talk. So
So what can we see outside of the cell?
There isn't much of a window. There's just the best comparison is it's almost like an arrow slit. What you can see is that the sun seems to be rising. The sky has been lightening for the last like few minutes, and the from what you can guess, where your cell is currently situated looks out over the sea. Off in the far distance, you can make out the gray outline of what, if you had to guess, it must be Vardenfell off in the distance. The great island home of the Dark Elves, which is basically the center of Morrowind. But that's the most you can make out between the limited view provided by the arrow slit and the ashfall outside.
Okay.
Mhm.
So are we like next to each other, or are we on different parts of the walls?
You guys are next to each other at a slight distance from one another, maybe about 3 feet apart.
Okay.
To my left and who's to my right?
So to your left, like you turn your head and you see that the nearest person directly is maybe a good 6 feet away, and is Tashdar. But then you look down and you see a very short red guard girl.
Like she missed her like over needs.
And
Then
she
you-
was glaring at all of you.
Why?
Then you turn your head to your right and you find a tall dark elf woman standing to your right.
Sweet, wait. So Zyra is below me? Did they just stick us on the same wall?
You
Is it
guys,
so short?
the wall is slightly rounded. So you guys are basically next to one another.
Okay.
Zira, she's not directly under you. She's to your left. She's just short.
I'm shorter.
You just missed her. You just missed her the minute you look to your left.
Oh, that's right. You are the you're doggy. In which case you actually look up at her.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and say. So I just woke up. I don't know who's been here the longest.
I've been here too. But this time I think we're not getting out here alive.
I'm sorry, I only heard that last part, the part about knocking me out of here alive. Don't say that again. I don't like that attitude. What were you saying? The first part?
We're all slated to die.
Who's the best with their hands?
me.
Me. I can punch people very, very hard.
To
I'd
clarify,
say that'd
who's
be
the best
me.
with picking
I
locks?
can touch you like you.
That would definitely be me.
Don't touch me. You're gonna have to speak up. I can't see which one you are. Is anyone here good at picking locks? Or is it just
I
touching
am.
people and punching things?
I could definitely pick a lock.
Alright, hold on. I think none of us want to be here. I know I don't. I have things to do, things to take. And so I'm going to go ahead and use knock on Tashdar's locks and let him out.
Okay. I don't have that spell pulled up. Well done.
I can
Luckily,
go
it's only a verbal component,
Yeah.
which makes my heart happy.
Okay,
Wait,
yeah,
one
go
of you
ahead.
guys can actually.
So you cast you cast knock, and you hear a loud click as Tashtar's hand restraints come undone, and then a loud crashing sound as it falls off of his arms and clanks up against the wall.
I'm going to go ahead and remove my magicka points for casting that.
Mhm.
All right, can you please let me out?
Let me think about that for a moment.
Rude.
Is the lock on the cell, like, could I possibly see that?
Sorry.
The lock on the cell that we're in.
It appears that there's only there's no handle on this side of the door.
Okay.
Clearly, it's meant to only be opened and closed from the outside.
All right. I will pick people's locks then to get them out.
Okay. What are you using to pick their locks? Are you using like your claw or?
Yes, and I can use my claws as thieves' tools.
Brilliant. Okay. So who would you like to start with then?
Me.
Yes, the person that set me free first.
Huzzah!
Okay, so go ahead and do an agility check.
Okay. Crit fail.
So you slip your claw into the lock of Zoe's restraints, and as you start fiddling around, you feel a sharp pain in your finger as you snap off a portion of your claw.
Oh no!
Oh, fun. That usually doesn't happen.
Well, so far this isn't a very good impression on you.
That's what they all
You know
say.
what? Fair enough.
Oh man.
Could I still possibly pick the lock, or is it kind of unworkable now?
You can try another claw.
There's a piece of your claw.
Yeah, you'll have to
in
get the
there.
piece of your other claw out.
All right.
Wait, can someone like? Can I use like a food for dog to like blast down the door? Maybe the blast down cage.
Well, currently you're
You
gagged.
have a gag.
I know, but if you guys
you
can
need
cut
to say
over my
stuff.
gag with your claw, huh?
Yeah, but
Oh,
we
yeah,
don't know that you
sure.
can Fusro Da, I don't think.
Well, I'm still chained up, so I can't.
Well, what else do you think I'd be the only one gagged?
Because you're annoying.
Oh, okay then. Alright, fine.
Real quick, I need to know your guys' passive perceptions. So, Julianek?
My passive perception is
Should be 10 plus your perception skill.
10 plus my perception skill. It's my computer. 10 plus my perception.
Mine is 10.
Okay.
Mine is also 10.
What perception
11.
Mine is 12. Yeah, mine is 12.
Mine is 15.
Whoa.
Jeez.
Okay, and then Geoffrey?
Mine is 11.
Okay.
Am I the only one proficient in perception?
It
looks
seems
that
that's
way.
the case.
Okay.
My personality is through the roof, though.
So, Zira, from outside the cell, you can hear the slight clanking of a sword up against someone's hip, and it sounds like it's coming closer, possibly a guard coming to drop off dinner.
Oh, great. A guard comes. Perhaps it is dinner
You might
or
want to
death.
pretend to be back in your lock.
Yeah, I'll pretend to still be in my shackles.
Okay.
I'll
Um,
be in my shackles because I am forced to be.
you hear a key enter the keyhole on the door, and it opens up, and you see a Dunmer guard walk in. Kind of just gives all of you a glare. Enjoy your final meal. This is likely the last bit of decent food you'll taste before you go on
Look at
to.
our fucking son.
How am I supposed to eat it if my hands are up here?
That's not for me to figure out. He places a tray at each of your feet. Tashtar, go ahead and do a performance check or make a check to try to make it seem like you're actually locked up.
Performance or deception or what?
I would go with either of those.
Okay, I will do deception because I'm proficient in that.
Wonderful.
Wow, I'm rolling like shit today. But I'm proficient in it, so it should be not the worst, but it's probably gonna be poor. 8.
So
Oh, what?
Like that was a laugh.
so the guard kind of walks over, and then he stops for a brief moment. That chain seems to be a bit slack. Shift over a bit so I may tighten your restraints.
Hey Josh, real quick, how close am I to Duncan?
You are on the other side of Zoe from him, so maybe 12 feet.
Okay, never mind.
Wait, so am I next? Wait, who's next to Duncan? Is it me?
So kind of in a circle, as it were. So from going from left to right, you've got Julinak, then Lilith, then Zoe, then Zira, then Tashtar.
Shit.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, I can't do shit, so good luck.
Me neither.
Wait, am I between two Khajiit?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Wait.
You're in a furry sandwich.
That's one way to put it, I suppose.
Did you hear me, prisoner? Move over so that I can tighten your restraints.
Quick question: how what's the light in this area?
Dim lighting.
Okay. Where I am, it's dim lighting.
Yes.
Okay.
Hang on just a second. Well, you guys can keep talking, but don't do anything super important for a second.
Okay. And how's the light outside
Nothing you guys
of
say
the
is
cell?
important.
Outside is bright light.
Okay. Can I see the interior of a different cell?
You cannot. This is an enclosed room.
Okay.
It's all stonework.
Alrighty then.
Beat him up, take his key, set us free.
I have a
Kick him in the
horrible
teeth.
idea that will probably end horribly.
Kick him in the teeth.
Usually that's
Kick him in the
You
teeth.
are going to die.
I mean, I could punch him, but that'd end really bad.
Ride or die.
Bob, your restraints are tight enough to restrict movement.
Can I do something?
What would you like to do?
Wait, oh damn it. Wait, I want to check something. Okay, hang on. Sorry, go ahead. I want to do something, so don't don't.
Then do it now.
But I have to check one more thing.
Do it now.
But I don't want to make you guys not talk. I need this like portion of the player's handbook I have open is not loading very well, so I am hurting. Anyways, can I cast Vicious Mockery because all I need is verbal?
Go ahead and roll for it.
Okay, hang on. I have to pull up my dice roller. Hang on. Oh my god, this is beautiful. Okay, so I roll a d20 to hit.
I'm pulling up the spell.
D20 plus spell attack bonus. I don't know what I'm rolling for.
I'm
God, this
pulling up the spell.
Stupid player's handbook.
All right,
doesn't load.
vicious mockery.
I know what it does.
Yeah,
I just need to know what I do to hit.
it actually must. He actually needs to succeed on a Wisdom saving throw. So, what's your spell save DC?
My spell save DC is 15.
Okay, so pulling up my DM dice.
Sure.
If anyone's wondering why I don't just
Oh,
knock
no.
everyone out of their locks, it's because knock is my the tower ability. So I realized I shouldn't have expended magicka on it. So I'm gonna get that back.
Um.
I'll use it once a day.
So when it
So-
says components, V is verbal and S is being able to move my hand.
Yes, but luckily, vicious mockery only has verbal components.
Yeah, but
You'll
I
have
have
to
another thing that I can move my hand even in restraints, technically.
So, Geoffrey, go ahead and roll a d4 for psychic damage.
Nice.
How are you gonna insult him?
That's the triangle. I'm a triangle
Yes.
boy.
Yeah.
I got a 2.
A 2.
I'm wrecking him.
Great,
Um,
we're doomed.
Too much to handle.
You might have made his nose bleed.
Yeah.
At least I did something.
So as he's staring at you, Duncan, you see his eye twitch just a little bit, and just the slightest hint of blood drip from his nose. And he turns his head toward Lilith. Clearly, we did not account for another mage. And he reaches into his.
No.
Quick question.
No.
Is he turned away from me at the moment?
Yes.
Oh, get him!
Okay.
Get him!
Fuck him up.
I'm going
Click him in the
to
balls.
use the ability of the shadow and cast invisibility on myself.
Where'd he go?
Where'd he go?
Where'd he go?
Oh my god, he's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone.
I freed a ghost.
I freed a ghost. You helped him move on.
Well, I guess that's good. But I still wanted to be free.
Yeah.
I haven't left the cell yet. I'm just invisible in the
Nope,
cell.
he's gone.
No, you're gone. You're gone forever.
Yep, gone
If you don't
forever.
feed, it doesn't exist.
You know, except for the shackles floating about where he had been before, around his ankles and wrists.
Okay.
Well, fine. Use science.
So I missed that. I was trying to pull up a picture of what you were asking for, Bob. So
I
Duncan-
said he's not gone because his shackles are still there, floating about where they had been when he was wearing them.
Khajiit does not think about this.
Yeah,
Could you-
can move my hands
Redgar
out of
sighs
them.
heavily.
The Dunmer reaches into his pouch and pulls out a dirty. It looks like it might well be his if not the washcloth he uses as a handkerchief, it might be the washcloth he uses for something else. You're not entirely sure. He starts rolling it up to use as a gag for you, Lilith. And as he steps closer towards you,
Mm-hmm.
you suddenly hear a loud bell going off in the distance. And he turns toward the window in the cell.
Mm-hmm.
Right as that entire wall bursts into flame and rubble.
Holy shit.
Nice.
No,
Also, how big was the window?
It wasn't very
Or is
big.
the window gone now?
I mean, the window's gone now. I mean, if you want a good comparison, the window used to be incredibly small, about the size of an arrow slit. Now the window is the entire wall.
Okay.
Alright, so I'm just gonna like.
Well, how are we
Uh,
going to get
out
out?
of my shackles because I'm extremely uncomfortable with this.
You guys hear the sounds of fighting down on the beach below, and looking out through this window, you see.
Okay, I can hear
What do
you.
we hear the sounds of? My it cut out for a bit and I didn't hear anyone.
Yeah, same
That's
here.
okay. You guys hear the sounds of combat going on the beach down below.
Early.
The
The call of home.
out on the sea, not too far from shore, is a large ship, and the colors that it is flying are indeed those of the Covenant.
Is that good or bad?
Well, you guys are currently in Morrowind, which is part of the Ebonheart Pact, who is currently at war with the Daggerfall Covenant.
My peeps.
Down on the beach shore, you see siege machines have been set up. Trebuchets are lobbing large flaming bombs down onto the city. A few boats here and there are going back and forth from the ship, likely bringing in more soldiers or more gear for siege engines. To the left along the shore, you see that packed soldiers have rushed out to meet with the siege. To the right is just a sheer cliff dropping down into the water. You guys are up above that. You guys are up above that beach, so it would take a little bit of scaling to get down to the beach. Or otherwise, there is a slight protrusion in the rock that would allow you to get out onto flatter land, but still toward where the Pact is setting up its forces.
I'm still more concerned about getting off the wall than getting down the building. Than
Currently, Toshtar is the only one locked down. What do you do, Toshtar?
I'm the only one locked down?
You're the only one who's not currently bound to the wall.
We
Lucky.
saw how good he is at lockpicking, so.
I'll try lockpicking
Now
again.
we don't see him, so his lockpicking skills must be better.
Yeah.
He's
The lock
got
can't see
stage
me, I
fright,
can do
guys.
it better.
Yes.
He's got performance anxiety.
Performance anxiety. Good.
Okay, so go ahead and attempt lockpicking. Person of your choice.
Or cat of your choice.
Or cat of your
Cat
choice.
is, again.
Because she must stay together.
Yeah, exactly. Agility roll.
I'll give you advantage on this one.
I don't think I'll need it, but I'll roll for advantage. Okay, so
Don't think I need it.
well, because the first roll I got
You
was a
needed
16,
it the
and I
last
get
time.
I get plus 8,
Woo.
so that's a 24.
So you manage to fish your the piece of your other claw out of the lock, but you find that it makes it a little bit easier to pick because now you can use the broken claw as a lockpick. So you fiddle with the lock a bit, and it pops open. I won't have you roll to undo everyone else. I'll just say that you're capable of doing it because you got a feel for it with this first lock.
Okay.
So now no longer tied to the wall, what do you do?
What's up with the guard?
The guard,
I
you
got
find,
my
is...
stuff.
The guard is
He did.
on the ground. He's on the ground, and you see that the back of his head, it had been cracked open by a piece of rubble from the wall being blasted open.
I'm just.
Can we
gonna
find our
put it in
stuff?
the pocket.
Okay,
Well,
so
first I ungag myself, and yeah.
Okay.
Thank fucking God.
Zoe is immediately going in for the rifling through pockets. So
So the rest of us are just still on the wall?
no, you guys are unbound.
No, we got released.
Okay.
We got freed, but me first. Very, very important clarification.
Exactly. See, Khajiit got to stick together.
Yeah.
So inside the guard's money pouch, you find 8 septims.
Nice.
He is wearing plate armor in the style of the Dunmer, which means instead of being metal, it's actually like an insect chitin. So despite being plate, it's fairly lightweight.
Does it have a symbol on it?
Just the symbol of the Ebonheart Pact.
Not for me.
Okay. I want to go find my stuff. Where can I find it?
There's no chest or anything in this room where your stuff would have been kept. They had confiscated most of the stuff from you. And unfortunately, some of the rubble had actually fallen down and blocked the normal passageway out of the cell.
No.
Like the door is jammed ajar, but not far enough open for you to be able to climb through.
All right.
Could I fit through?
Gotta get out of the hole.
Yeah, Zero, go ahead and do an agility check to try to fit through the opening.
Okay, give me a sec. I'm currently in a moving vehicle.
While
So an
we're
18
kind of
on the
at
die.
18. You managed to fit part of the way
Hold on.
through.
Straight agility?
Or
Or would it be acrobatics or athletics?
I would allow acrobatics.
Acrobatics?
Mhm.
That is... What's 18 plus 8? That's 26, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that.
You managed to, like, you briefly get stuck for a bit, but you do manage to slip out and into the hallway outside the cell.
Okay. Do I know where they had our stuff when they removed it from us?
No. The last time you saw your stuff, it was being confiscated from you out at the city gates of Davin's Watch.
Hey, Josh.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I pull some of the rubble from the top of the opening to make it a little bigger?
Yes. While you do that, Lilith?
I have to go check on Carla's dog, so I'm gonna jump out of the call.
Okay.
And I'll jump back in when I get back.
Okay. So you start pulling rubble from the door. It's going to take a bit.
Wait, can I like food for dog the rebel, or if that's like probably got hurt with it?
You can foosro dog the rubble.
Okay. Hey, little girl, you get? Huh?
This building's already falling apart. I don't think it's a good
That's true, but you know, if we gotta get out of here, I gotta.
There's
Okay,
a
so do
perfectly
you
good
tell me to
hole in the
move?
wall.
Huh?
There's a perfectly good hole in the wall just waiting for us to jump out of it.
Yes, and we can't get out of it. Wait, well, I thought it was covered in rubble, the hole, right?
So the hole in the wall leads to my people and cliffs and death.
Not death if
Or
you're traveling
you
with
come
me.
this way and you get your things back.
I don't own much. That's not too important to me.
I want my blades.
I want
Fair
my
enough.
glass.
I'm gonna try to crawl through the hole that she crawled through.
Okay.
Go ahead and do an agility acrobatics check.
Okie dokie. Let me find where that is on that page. Agility or acrobatics? 10.
You're scrambling to try to get up and find purchase, but you keep slipping down the side of the door.
I thought Khajiit had a climb speed.
I do have a better climb speed, but I'm not very strong. I'm just fast.
Okay. All right.
You didn't try to free run the wall?
Someone pushed me through.
Someone pushed you through. All right. I tried to like get you out of there so I can proof for the wall or the hole,
Hold on,
wherever.
I think my thing cut out again.
All right.
I move away from the opening.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All
I
right.
was
So I pull like Zoe out of the hole, and I'm gonna like stay back, and I threw her out the door, and that will cost me 1 stamina point, so that was 4.
Okay. So you guys aren't entirely sure what the orc has planned, but you guys move out of the way like he says, and he just takes a deep breath before shouting 3 words. And
Cover my ears. It really hurts. None of that, thank you.
a loud compression like bursts through the room, and rock and rubble and even the door itself are blown back and open, making the hallway available for you to enter.
Nice.
Don't blow up the whole building.
Well, I have to do something, all right? I'm not good at fast thinking, so give me some time.
Oh, Zoe, there was another thing that you found in the guard's pocket.
Oh, a pocket?
Yes.
Pocket.
So in addition to the 8 septums that you found, you also found a small vial, a small glass vial of a blue swirling liquid inside. You've seen these before. You're pretty sure this is a sip of magicka.
Is it Zydrate?
It's got electrolytes. It's what plants crave.
It's what plants crave.
But you're pretty sure it's a sip of magicka, like a very minor magicka potion.
All right.
Um,
I'm gonna just slip that in my pocket. No one has to know.
The guard also has on him a long sword. So.
Oh, I don't use that. Can anyone use this? And I lift up the sword.
I can. Bring it here.
Okay. Well, I'm a staff user, so I need my staff. Alright, so which way should we go in order for us to find our stuff?
On your right hand,
Which way is not blocked by rubble?
the left.
The left, alright.
To the left.
Okay,
To the left.
to the left.
So you guys start heading down the hallway. The guards are for the most part absent. Likely they've been scrambled over to the western wall to help with the defense.
Good.
Awesome, not my problem.
In several cells, you can see that there are other prisoners in there. Some most of them are of the other races. You don't see very many dark elves in here. But you do eventually come down to the end of the hallway where there is a wooden door to your left, and up ahead of you is another metal door, not unlike the kind on your cell wall, but just a bit larger and more decorative, which suggests it might actually be leading out into the public area.
All right, is it open a bit or is it completely closed?
It's closed.
All right, can I put my ear up against it and try to listen for anything?
Okay. Go ahead and do a perception check.
Yes, perception. I have an 8.
You can't hear much over the sounds of the ringing alarm bells, the sound of large fiery bombs flying through the air and then crashing into the city.
Right, so I don't hear anything. No one's in there. I'm going to open it.
Okay. You open up the door and it leads into what you remember as being almost like the processing room. It's got a desk in there with stacks of papers and inkwell and such. Likely for the guard that was going through and taking down your guys' information for the city records. You also see a couple of chests and cabinets in the room.
We opened those up.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I opened mine.
I'm also taking the
I
paper
opened
in the
one of them up.
Okay, so you. I'll start with Julianek. You open up one of the chests, and inside you're actually kind of disappointed at what you find. You do find 5 septums in a small pouch, likely stashed there by someone else. But other than that, you see leather scraps in there. You're not entirely sure what they could have been from, but you're pretty sure you might be able to make use of them later.
Okay.
Because you remember from growing up in Rothgar how some of the clan crafters were really good at taking
I actually
leather
wasn't
and.
in a clan. Wait, I actually wasn't very in a clan. I grew up in the city.
Well, Rothgar isn't like the normal stronghold settlements. It's where a whole bunch of orcs from all sorts of different clans all came together. So you wouldn't have had to have been part of a clan to grow up in Rothgar.
Okay, all right.
But you have seen in the craft works and stuff like that. You've seen clan crafters working leather scraps into jewelry or into armor and the like. So you think you might be able to recreate that later on.
Okay, I actually didn't hear what you said that last part actually.
You've seen clan crafters in Rothgar work with leather to make jewelry and armor and stuff like that. So you think you might be able to recreate that.
Okay. How many leather straps are on there?
You find five usable pieces of leather.
Okay. All right.
So
Okay, so I'll just pocket those, but I will search the.
well, another person has opened a chest as well. Zira.
Yes.
You open up a chest, and inside you find 2 septums. And next to it is a series of glass vials.
Ooh.
One of these vials, it has red liquid swirling around inside, while another one is green. A third one is blue, not unlike the little vial you saw Zoe pocket earlier. And you also see a small pouch in there, and when you open it up, you find that there are some herbs and such in it.
Does this belong to anyone?
I don't know.
Not anymore.
None of you guys recognize it. If all this stuff belongs to prisoners, they certainly weren't yours.
Okay. I set them aside. I have no use for those things.
Wait, can I have them? I don't know what it is, but can I have it?
I give them to you.
Sounds about right.
Basically, you're looking at herbs, herbs and a potion of magicka, a potion of stamina, and a potion of health.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All the same
Alright.
size. They're all sips of health, or sips of appropriate attribute there.
I open another box.
I believe
I want
Tashtar
my
opened a
blade.
box as well. Tashtar, did you open a
Actually-
chest or a cabinet? Or the desk?
Neither. When we were walking here, we saw prisoners of other races in cells, correct?
Yes.
I'm going to attempt to free all the Khajiit.
Okay.
Alright.
There were 5
Could you
other
get
cells.
together?
There were 5 other cells in there. So go ahead and do lock-picking checks for all of them. Just record your results and then read them back to me as after I go through and handle other box and desk and cabinet openings.
I want to open the cabinet.
Okay, so Julinak, have you opened anything yet? I think you have.
I just opened a chest.
Okay. So you open up another chest, and inside you find a dagger. Not of any particularly ornate make. It's simple, run-of-the-mill, easy blade, Dunmer design.
Okay. Do you guys have one of these? I showed him like the dagger.
That is not mine.
But I don't.
Not
think
mine.
that's
All right, I'll pocket it then.
Okay.
So I pocket a Dunmer dagger, but
Yeah.
I won't open up the cabinet.
We'll get to it. Zoe.
Is there any way to find our like? I assume we've already been processed. I want to find the paper with my name on it and get rid of it.
Okay, so on the desk, on the desk in the room, there's a sheaf of papers. It looks like it's all forms, like admittance forms and execution forms and the like.
Mhm.
You rifle through them, and you do see. Can you read, Dunmary?
No.
Okay, so you're not sure what any of this is saying.
Okay. I need to get rid of all the papers then. Is
Okay.
there like a lantern or something in here? I need to start making a paper pile.
Scorched earth, I like it.
What's that?
I said scorched earth, I like it.
There isn't really any source of flame in here. The light being provided is actually being provided by glowing fungus in a couple of pots throughout the room.
Just rip it.
But then I need to get rid of all the paper. I don't know which one's mine, and there's a lot of paper in this room because there's also I don't know if it's put in a file cabinet or not.
I'll like help you out if you told my character. Like you just like tell him like, hey, can you help me get papers? Like,
Hey, so I can't read and I need to get rid of all these papers. Can anyone help me?
Why do you need to get rid of all the papers?
Because I don't want my name on some sort of dirty paper saying I did something that I don't even remember doing. Maybe I do, but I don't know why I'm here. I don't know which reason why I'm here, and I just need to get rid of my evidence.
Well, sounds about right. I mean, like, I don't need another thing to add on my history, so I'll help you out real quick.
Nice.
I'll actually like grab the whole set of paper because I am really buff, so I ripped the whole sack of papers in half.
It's a full sheaf of paper, so go ahead and do a strength check for me.
Okay. Where's my? There it is. Let me check my. I got 18.
You guys hear this just loud tearing sound as Julinak takes a huge sheaf of paper and just shreds it.
Yeah.
All right, now let's keep searching. No slacking around.
Zira, do you open up another chest?
Yes,
Okay.
I want my blades.
I want my glass.
Inside the chest that you open, you find they're not your blades, but they're still pretty, and they are slightly curved. They look like they're well balanced, and you're not entire. They look like they're well balanced. They are slightly
Okay.
curved.
Ooh.
But you're pretty sure that they're not made of metal.
What are they made of?
Your best guess is that they're made out of chitin.
I'll hold on to these for now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Julinak, you open...
For my blades, though.
I open the cabinet.
You open the cabinet, and you see... It's not quite what you were hoping for, but it's good enough. You find a small goblet, and next to it is a bottle of what you recognize as Nordic Alta wine.
Okay.
Not quite the whiskey that you're used to from Hrothgar, but you do know that the Nords can hold their liquor, so it's bound to be at the least somewhat strong.
It'll be a substitute for now, until I get my glass. I grab the goblet and pour like some of the wine in there and just take a sip out of it. Oh, thank God. At least I got something in me right now, but I still need to find my stuff.
Tustar.
And I just take another sip out of it.
Yes.
All right.
I keep searching.
So you unlocked 5, or attempted to unlock 5 cages. Go ahead and let me know how it turned out.
Okay, so my results are, with modifiers, is 27, 19, 22, 23, and 23.
Yeah, you managed to get them all open.
Woo! Freedom!
The prisoners come shuffling out of their cells and kind of look at one another. Some of them decide that they're going to head outside via your guys' cell. Another couple of them come through the room that you guys are in and head out the other door leading out into the main public area.
Scream if there's danger down there.
Zira, you finish going through all of these chests and such. You still can't find your blades. You're still missing those beautiful greenish. You can't see that green tint of orichalcum anywhere. But Zoe, what's that, Robotic Zira?
Is she still there?
Yeah, you kept cutting out. I didn't hear like half of what you said.
Oh, you haven't. You can't. You haven't seen your blades in here. You can't find that familiar green glint of orichalcum.
Okay, is there a box small enough that I could throw against the wall to smash it? Tiny rage machine.
Tiny rage machine.
Is there a small enough box that something tiny rage machine?
I want to take a box because I've gone through all of them. So I take one of the chests and I just throw it against the wall.
Sure. You guys hear a loud crash as Zira throws one of the smaller chests across the room.
I jump very high, like a scared.
I just turned around and be like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Oh, and I curse in Yoku.
Okay.
What? Okay, what did the box burst into?
Just splintered wood.
But yeah, what was in it?
Nothing. It was one of the ones you guys went through.
Oh, okay, all right.
Zoe, inside the desk you find more like inkwells, quills, some more paper, but it seems to be blank.
I'm just gonna try to pocket it.
You do find, amid all of those things, a book.
A book.
A book.
I open it. Does it look like something I can read?
It does indeed. It looks like it might have been written by a scholar in one of the mages guilds in Tamriel. And some of the symbols and diagrams you see in it, you recognize as being reminiscent of other destruction spells that you've learned before.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah, you're not sure what spell this is, but you do know that if you were to spend a decent amount of time, you could probably learn this spell.
This one gets hidden in my shirt.
You guys see this tiny cat with just like this rectangular protrusion under her very thin shirt.
Yes. Very close to me.
I'll
know for sure.
Oh, I want to check what was behind the wood door that was also in the hallway.
Okay. You go to open the door, and it's one of the most beautiful sights you've ever seen.
Is it my blades?
Mounted on the wall, in display cases and such, is indeed your twin orichalcum scimitars.
Oh, I say like a small prayer in Yoku, and I get my blades.
Similarly,
I will use the crappy sword I have to open the cabinet in order to get my blades.
Oh, they're not locked up. They're just resting on hooks.
Ooh. Someone knows quality.
And you guys see the rest of your gear in this room as well.
Oh, okay.
The long sword that I took off the guard, I just like toss it on the ground because to me it is inferior and garbage. I take my 2 blades. I will keep the other 2 blades I found because they're interesting, but I'm not going to use them. I want my blade.
Yeah.
Alright. So okay, so I just feel like you found something?
My blades, they have returned to my hand. I am complete.
Wait, so you found our stuff? I go follow to where she is and like take a sip of my drink while I'm at it, and with the glass still in my hand, and I go into the cabinet and see if my stuff is still there, or go to where she is and see if my stuff is in there.
You
Are my clothes here? Just because I might as well get dressed as well.
Yes, all of the stuff you guys had before you were arrested is locked up in here. Well, I say locked, but it's not under key.
All right,
She
I want to check.
carefully sets her blades and then gets dressed. She doesn't care if anybody else is in the room.
Okay, I want to. All right, I see my stuff. Yes, in a bag or something.
Yep, and you see
Okay.
you see that familiar
Staff.
familiar Horker skin flask, and right next to it is your quality orichalcum goblet that you usually drink out of.
Thank fucking Malachi. Fuck. Or what was the
Malakath.
Malachi?
Malakath.
Malakath. I throw like the goblet away. I like throw that to the other side, and I just grab that instead and pour my drink in there and just drink that instead. And I grab my stuff.
Yeah.
You guys are really attached to your items.
I need my drink, man.
These blades were forged for me and me alone.
That's pretty special.
Yeah, I just need my glass back or wherever. All right, so get your stuff and let's get out of here. And with the drink still in my hand, so yeah.
Zoa's just gonna grab her stuff. She's not going to change in front of possible lots of prisoners.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I think they're all gone because like Duncan like released them though, right?
you don't know if any more will show up. This is a public area.
No shit. She could have fought naked as long as she had her blade.
That's a little bit like weird though because your character is 16.
She don't care.
There's a female pirate that used that tactic to like tear away clothes to scare her, confuse her enemy so she could kill them.
Yeah.
Zira's field of fox is as barren as the desert of her homeland.
Actually, I go in the closet. I actually like go and like close the cabinet, or close like the door real quick and change into my robes.
Okay.
Okay, so
Tashtar, you find your things in here as well.
Am I still invisible? Because I think I am.
No, I'm pretty sure the spell has worn off by now.
Okay.
So there's like a ghost that was like unlocking all of the.
No, his spell has worn off a bit.
Okay, all right.
Would you guys like to do anything else while you're still in this room?
I tried to find another way out.
Is there any rope in this room?
Rope?
Yeah,
Yes,
rope to go
yes,
down the
indeed.
mountain?
Yes, indeed.
Cool.
It's good quality rope too. It looks like it might have been confiscated from a Bosmer inmate, because it's made from like animal sinews and stuff like that.
Mm.
So you know it'll hold really well.
All right. How much rope is there?
About 420 feet. I mean, there's quite a bit in here.
420.
Yes.
So should we blaze this or?
What's that?
I will one. Do you not care 400 feet?
Didn't quite hear you. You were cutting in and out.
My thing was also cutting in and out.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think it's on Bob's side.
Bob, get your stuff together.
No, I didn't hear you guys either.
Oh.
She will also
Bob will also take rope.
I'm not gonna take any rope. I'm not gonna carry this. It's big, way bigger than me. Oh, see Zero again.
Yeah. Yeah, she's helping you carry all the stuff because you're a tiny cat.
You understand me.
Dostar doesn't need rope. He can climb on his own.
Okay, so I'm assuming you guys are going to be trying to go down the cliffs then.
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like we're going to get least resistance going down the cliffs.
Okay. So you step out onto the ledge just outside your cell. You're looking out over these cliffs. To the left, there is kind of almost like a pathway leading down to the staging area for the defense. Straight down drops you into the melee on the beach. But if you were to try to scale the cliffs toward your right, toward the eastern side of the city, you think you might be able to, at the very least, get down into the water.
I don't want to be in the water.
Yeah, I think it's on your end, Zira.
I
So
hear sometimes, but you have to like kind of like let your disc sit for a bit, and then it'll like start getting better.
yeah, it's one of the drawbacks of really any kind of voice chat.
She's
Um,
i.e. Skype. Rest in
Skype
peace.
Skype's worse. But anyway, so yeah, you've got those three options to you. Head out toward the staging area, use the ropes to scale the cliffs downward into the melee, or try to scale the cliffs out to toward the east and into the sea.
I don't want to go into the sea. That's my only output. I'm fine with fighting a few people if I do not have to go into the sea.
Alright. I like look at you, be like, why aren't you?
Can you repeat that?
Can you please repeat that cat out for me?
Okay. I just kind of look at you and just feel like, why aren't you going down?
I don't want to go down that way. I'm just gonna go down onto the beach. Does anyone want to go down onto the beach with me?
Why? We can just like jump out and get out of here.
Oh, I thought you were some sort of strong person. You want to run
We're on
away
a
from a
cliff.
fight?
I am a strong person, but I'd rather like get out, you know, halfway dead.
Okay, fine. I just don't want to go into the water.
Why, are you a scaredy cat?
No, it's uncomfortable.
both of the Khajiit are just looking at the water like salt water makes this one's fur itch.
You don't have to clean it out of your fur. It tastes bad. And also, like, it's really heavy for me. I just get really soaked up and then I just kind of sink. I don't like it too much.
So, should we jump?
Well, it wouldn't be jumping. You've got rope.
Oh, well, should we like go down?
Yeah. Sierra, do you have any input? Oh, she's typing.
She's typing. She's doing the types. Yeah. I vote for going down. So, yeah.
Okay, so she ties off. Sierra ties off some rope on one of the large boulders sticking up out of the cliffside and lets it drop. Luckily, the rope does seem to go all the way down to the shoreline. So I won't even have you guys roll for going down the rope. It's easy enough.
Okay. I wrote down the rope with the drink still in my hand.
So you guys get down to the shoreline, and you find yourselves surrounded, like To your right-hand side, the rocks of the cliff protrude out into the water. Off out in the sea, you see a large wooden ship of Breton make. Right in front of you, there are a few piles of equipment likely used to help set up the siege machines. About pull up my notes here. There are about 3 large trebuchets already set up and lobbing bombs at the city. Which behind you and up on the cliff, you see that where you guys were at was in a large guard tower protruding out over the cliff, and the wall continues onward toward the east along the cliff line. And then also extends westward a little bit before curving toward the south, with the defense in front of it. There are also several large, very large, you see being set up, possibly to scale the walls. And every now and then you hear the twang of massive ballistae just lobbing javelins into the defense. And then also in front of you, you see there are quite a few soldiers, orc soldiers, red guard soldiers, Dunmer, Nord, Breton. You see some Argonian soldiers as well in the defense. And they're all fighting one another, some are trying to push the siege back toward the sea, while those on the sieging side are trying to push toward the city walls. To your left, along the coastline, through the melee, you can see further down, the ground kind of rises up into the Velothi Mountains with the large ash clouds billowing up from the top. It's a very volcanic region. And you can see very large fungus growing up out of the rich and fertile soil. Toward the south, a pathway from the beach leads up toward where the defense is. And you see camps had been set up, as well as some defensive structures like spikes facing out toward the sea to prevent easy access.
Okay.
So
I'm still pretty down for just going down.
Oh, you're down as far as you can get.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So we can't flag down the ship or anything.
No, it's too far off, and you're pretty sure that the ship is more than likely more focused on assisting the siege than anything else.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there any boat nearby us?
You'd have to get through the melee in order to get to the boats.
Oh, alright.
How far away are if there's any boats that we could use?
I would say maybe a good 300 feet.
Go left and see how that fares.
You could try that if you wanted to.
Wait, what's that?
Did you guys want to go left? Check out the giant mushrooms?
Check out the giant mushrooms.
You would still have to get through the melee, but if you were able to fight your way through the battle to that other side, you have a feeling that you'd be home free.
Could we sneak our way through the battle?
You could try.
Because I can help people, because I know pass without a trace.
That works. That sounds like a plan.
If we fail, then we're gonna have to fight anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, prepare your weapons, guys. We might have to go in, but do your magic.
I am always prepared to fight.
I know you are, or I don't know you are, but I
You're pretty certain with how eager she was to get her hands on her blades that she's always ready to fight.
she's still so tiny though. Like I'm just like looking at her. I'm just like, okay.
I believe in
Alright,
her.
so-
She doesn't have to be tall to be strong.
I mean, you're not wrong, but Julian's pretty tall. Is pretty tall, so yeah. He likes to be the muscle. He's the muscle. He's the dirty dancer. The Patrick Swayze.
Okay, so pass without trace. That is a spell, is it not?
Yes.
Okay.
I have the book open so I can.
Okay. So if you
Going
would like
to-
to cast that, you may.
Alright, I will cast Pass Without a Trace.
Okay. So you guys all feel the familiar tingling that always comes when some mage is casting a spell. As the Khajiit kind of briefly waves his hand and speaks a few magical words. And though you don't feel any different looking at one another, you can see that you guys are slightly shrouded. Not really in shadow per se, but you are partially translucent. Just enough to kind of give you an edge when trying to sneak.
It's always good to have an edge.
It's always good to have an edge.
Jeffrey's
Welcome back, Geoffrey.
Thank you.
So yeah, Jeffrey, we escaped, and now we're trying to hide from a crowd of mob or wherever it's
Are we
going
on a boat or are we not on a boat? Because
Not yet.
You're not on a boat.
Got it.
We're trying
You're-
to find a boat.
Gotcha.
You also
For
have.
anyone wondering, the doggos are good boys. So.
Yay.
Yay!
Geoffrey, you have your stuff back as well.
Oh my god.
All right, guys. So let's just head over there to where we're going.
All right. So we'll do this in a series of 3 jaunts. The first one, Zira's already sent me her roll at a stealth of 27. Duncan, can you read off the effect of Pass Without Trace?
Yes, I can. So, Pass Without a Trace. You and companions from a veil of shadows and silence radiates from you, masking you and your companions from detection. For the duration, each creature you choose within 30 feet of you, including yourself, has a +10 bonus to stealth checks.
Ooh.
It cannot be tracked by. It cannot be tracked except by magical means.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. So
Pretty hard to fail that stealth check.
So we've already got Zira's roll, which
37.
turned up to be a 37. She is invisible.
You cannot be seen.
I would like everyone else to also make their perception, their stealth checks as well.
Mine with that
Okay.
spell bonus is 31.
Okay.
I got a flat 30.
I rolled a 20.
Okay.
So.
I got 24.
Okay. So you guys are easily able to make it the first third of the way. Go ahead and do another check, please.
Okay. Yep.
Hey, how about that nat 1?
Ooh.
Oh shit!
We'll come back to that.
I took
I
the
got
20.
17.
I got 18.
I got a 27.
Okay.
Oh wait, are we adding Duncan's?
So what it does is it's adding a +10 to your stealth roll.
Okay,
And plus
I
whatever
got
normal
a
bonuses you have.
yeah, I got a 28 then.
Okay.
The
According
nat
to
1 is
also
still a
having
nat 1.
Yeah, and that one is still a nat 1.
Yeah.
Even if I add 16 to it.
Bob says her wife's D20 likes her. Okay, so you guys
Killing it.
try to make it the second third of the way. Zoe, over nearby in a pile of crates, it looks like it was one of those crates of gear that the soldiers were setting up when preparing for the siege. Inside, you see Shiny.
Oh god.
Given what she rolled, now I'm worried.
I do like shiny things.
It's not even necessarily a metallic shiny. This is a crystallized shiny. It's the familiar glint of moon sugar.
Hey, what are you doing? We're trying to get out of here.
What's that?
I'm talking to Zoe, like, you know.
Zoe?
Like, so, what are you doing? We gotta get out of here.
Hold on, this is important.
No important. You're gonna die if you stay back here.
And we're gonna die even faster if you keep yelling.
So Zoe, you go up to the crate. You see these bowls of moon sugar. And you can't help but to just dip a paw in and take a taste of that sweet, delicious flavor of your homeland.
Don't you mean stick a whole mouthful in?
pretty much. And the familiar sensation, like a slight lightheadedness and dizziness, it's very pleasant, kind of comes over you. And that's when you realize that this isn't any ordinary moon sugar. It looks like it tastes like it might have been somewhere in the middle stages of refinement into skooma. So
Yay!
So all checks from here on out for you, Zoe, are until the effects of the skooma wear off, are going to be at disadvantage. However,
What is skooma?
However, there is an exception to that. Your strength checks will have advantage.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Curse you.
I know.
Similarly, you see a couple of soldiers turn and stare directly at you.
I go over to Zoe and grab her by the neck.
Scruffing the cat.
Oh, that's so rude.
Well, they see Reuben too.
Yeah, now they see
Well, we're trying
Reven.
to get you out of here.
Let me go.
Alright, I'm gonna keep
we can-
moving.
They pretty much see your whole group at this point. A group is
Oh,
only as
shit.
stealthy as its least
Fuck
stealthy
all you
character. So I would like you all to go ahead and roll some initiative, please.
80 gumdrops.
Oh yeah, I was looking for physical dice. I don't have those. Oh, I'm killing it. I'm going first.
21.
20.
Can you guys go ahead and type it into the chat? That way.
Yes.
Zoe, did you do that with disadvantage?
Oh yeah, that's right. Popped right into a bag on the floor. All right. And that means there.
Nat 20.
At
Reuben.
20.
Zoe got an 8. Shulanak got a 10. And Tashdar got a
Yes.
21. Okay. And then...
I thought moon sugar was just supposed to be a tasty snack. I've been betrayed.
Oh no.
Good God. All right.
The person rolling with disadvantage got higher than me.
I take a sip of my drink right now.
I have the most disadvantage. Life is my disadvantage.
What?
Life is my disadvantage.
Life is your disadvantage.
I can
Okay.
roll even if I have advantage.
Zira, you turn and you see a mage and a couple of soldiers coming towards you. You do have first in the initiative track. You can try talking just in case. It doesn't always cut out.
I want to cut them down.
A valid strategy.
How close are all these people?
They're close enough to be within closing distance, about 30 feet away.
But how close are they to each other?
I would say maybe 5-6 feet apart.
Okay.
Okay, so Zira, since peeps are chatting, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to slide our Discord over into the window capture on this recording. That way people can see what you're saying. So slide it right on over. Here we go.
My question is, how did you get peeps to have sentience to chat? And are they birds or are they bunnies or I want to know.
Are they humans or are they dancers?
Yeah, that's a good point. Are they ravens? Okay, bunnies.
Okay. So you said you wanted to cut them down. So who would you like to cut down first? A mage or one of the 3 soldiers? The magics. Okay. So I'm assuming you use your move action to close the distance. Go ahead and roll an attack.
Dun, 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 dun.
Nat 20.
This is
Wow,
bullshit.
your wife's die really does love you.
She's smacking.
Okay. So you walk up toward this mage, and he towers over you. You can see the comparison between Julinak and this guy, with his somewhat greenish skin and tusks protruding from his mouth. His robes are of a very Rothgarian style, very much so orcish in design. Somehow, while being a mage and being a master of such subtle arts, the outfit still seems just enough to be in your face and forceful. So you nat 20, go ahead and roll your damage.
She's gonna roll a nat 20 again. Or no, not nat 20, whatever she's gonna roll, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, 16
Damn.
damage to our good orc mage here. He staggers back with your first hit. Second attack is a 21. That definitely hits. $12. Okay. Blood is now oozing from a gash in his side that you've managed to give him. And you just see the anger in his eyes as he kind of staggers back, clutching at his side, and electricity slowly begins to spark across his staff. Tashtar, you are next.
Okay, so it's guards and a magic user, correct?
Soldiers and an orc mage, yes.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to also attack the orc mage.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
All right. Oh, fell off the table. 16.
16 will hit.
Okay. And for damage, it does 6.
6 damage. How are you doing this 6 damage, by the way?
Short sword.
Yeah. Okay. And that leads to our orc. So electricity kind of trickles along his staff, and it all coalesces at the end of the staff and shoots forward towards Zira. So just gotta pull up this spell, and gonna make a ranged spell attack. How does a 12 do against your AC, Zira? 19? You've got a 19? Okay, so, a bolt of electricity shoots out of the end of his staff, but, he kind of twinges as another tinge of pain shoots through his body, and it collides harmlessly with the sand near you. Two soldiers nearby are moving towards you guys. One is a Breton and another one is a Red Guard. The Breton charges forward toward the Khajiit who had attacked his Orcish comrade. And he draws his dagger and swings it at the Nightblade for a wonderful 11 versus your armor class.
17.
Okay, does absolutely nothing. So that leads to the Red Guard soldier. The Red Guard is going to charge up toward. He sees Zoe kind of trying to paw at the skooma, and he's going to charge toward Zoe and try to get a slash at her for a wonderful, also 11 versus armor class. Zoe?
What?
11 versus your armor class?
My armor class is 13.
13. The other Red Guard has attacked the tiny kitten, yes. So,
Oh, no.
however, he has missed with his sword. So that leads us to Julinak.
Yes. Okay. So wait, who's near me right now?
Near you would be who dropped out.
What?
Geoffrey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Geoffrey just got out. Maybe he was having connection problem because I've been quiet on this.
He might have.
Yeah. So what enemies are near me right now?
So far it's one Breton soldier, one Red Guard soldier, and an Orc mage. The Orc mage is clutching at his side like he's been hit rather hard.
Mm-hmm.
Or rather, slashed rather hard.
Okay. Well, I'll attack, let's see. Actually, I kind of want to, food for thought from the enemies. I think I'll do that.
Okay. Which enemies? Are you gearing towards just all of them in general?
I really can't hear you.
Are you fusrodawing all of those enemies in general?
I'm you're still cutting out for me. I don't know. What
Are-
did you said? I can't understand.
So, are you using Unrelenting Force at all 3 enemies, or just one in particular?
I, I really. Okay, so sorry. Repeat that again.
All 3 enemies, or just one?
All 3 enemies.
Okay. If you do that, that will hit Zira and Tashtar.
Oh shit. Okay. Touchdown, get out of the way, or Khajiit, get out of the way. Can touch. Just like move or something. I'm gonna do something real quick that you're gonna get hurt with.
Would you like to hold your action until they move out of the way?
Maybe. Fuck, I don't know. Okay. Okay, so I think I'll use food for dawn on my next turn. I am just good.
Well, because you can hold, because you can hold your turn until they get out of the way, and it'll just pop you right in after they move.
No, I just want to attack someone real quick, just to like get that out of the way, and like trash, and I'll like tell Trash Star to move out of the way. But I'll wait for that until my next turn.
Okay.
Or Julia's next turn. So yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and make an attack.
Okay, so I will go to the enemy nearest to me and use my quarterstaff to hit one of them really, really hard.
Okay.
My D6. Huh?
I said okay. Go ahead and roll to hit.
Okay, to hit. All right.
So your D20 plus the appropriate ability and proficiency if you got it.
$11.
11 will not hit.
That did not hit.
Yeah. So as Zira is shouting out in Yoku to not attack the little cat, the orc comes swinging his staff at him and just whiffles right over his head.
Oh shit! Sorry about that.
You don't understand that that's what Zira is saying. Zira is speaking in Yokuden. So that leads us to Zoe.
So I'm not feeling too battle ready. I don't think I'm ready for anything at the moment.
You just know you feel good.
She feels good.
But I'm gonna cast darkness on myself.
Okay.
Have less of a chance. Just don't look at me.
You should say that because I was gonna do that on the next one.
So all of a sudden, in the middle of the battlefield, a sudden dome of just darkness erupts from around the cat. You guys, you guys can't see into it. Can't see out of it in the case of Zoe and Zira and Tashtar.
That's not my concern.
But yeah, so yeah, darkness. Next up is Lilith.
Yes. My turn. So all of them are alive. We haven't killed anyone yet.
You haven't killed anyone yet.
Okay.
And now there's a ball of darkness in the middle of the field.
Yeah, so are they all in the darkness?
No, just Zoe, Tashtar, Ziraka, and the orc mage.
Okay.
The other two, the two soldiers were just on the edge of that radius. So like they're not consumed by darkness like everyone else has been.
My life is consumed by darkness.
All right, Edgelord.
So I guess I'm gonna attack one of the one of the other guys, because I can't see the mage. I can't do anything to him. Okay. Let's see. So
It's okay, Bob. The orc would have attacked you either way.
He's not very nice.
Don't worry, Bob. He can't see you now. He can't see what you've done.
It's cool with me. Like I'm hurt that you feel my that you hurt my kind, because I'm now feel unsure. But you know what? It's fine. Not a lot of orcs like me, actually.
So Geoffrey, what do you do?
Trying to figure that out. Oh wait, I do have a question. So the two soldiers, how far apart are they approximately?
At this point, less than 5 feet.
Okay, and then do I know about how close the mage is to where they were? I probably would have seen him before.
Yeah.
The darkness popped, right?
He was like maybe a good 5-6 feet away from them.
Okay.
You're pretty sure that unless people start moving around inside the darkness, you could probably maybe get a shot in on him.
What was that?
5 feet, so I'll aim below 5 feet. So I'm looking for Thunderclap, but all that's in the book is Thunder Wave. Is that the same thing?
No, it is not. Thunderclap's from a supplement. I'm pulling it up now.
Okay, can you give me the approximate range in which I should be aiming?
It's centered on yourself by a 5-foot radius. It says you create a burst of thunderous sound which can be heard 100 feet away. Each creature other than you within 5 feet of you must make a Constitution saving throw, or an Endurance saving throw in this case. On a failed save, the creature takes 1d6 thunder damage, so you could potentially harm your allies.
Well, what if I stand in between because the mage is slightly farther ahead than the soldiers? What if I stand in between them?
You could. It might still hit Zira, you're not sure, but I would allow you to give it an attempt.
Alright, well, I'll go run into the middle of them and use Thunderclap.
Okay, so before you use Thunderclap, the two soldiers get an attack of opportunity. The Breton soldier...
They're in front of me.
Because you're running up between them.
I'm not running between them. What are the positions? You're not... What?
Okay, so... Basically, you're on one side of the Orb of Darkness. The soldiers are on the other side of the Orb of Darkness with the Orc Mage and Zira and other people inside. If you were to run, unless you're trying to run through the darkness, if you were to go around the darkness, you would pass just close enough to the soldiers to where they can try to make a swing at you.
But they're on the other side. If I go to the other side, I wouldn't be passing them.
Oh, you're going to go around the other side of the orb. I'll allow that.
I'm wanting to go around the side of the orb, be approximately 5 feet away from the mage who's in the darkness, and 5 feet away from the...
I see what you're getting at. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Done. It's done. I'm there. Okay. So roll my virtual dice. And then I add spell attack bonus?
Actually, they need to make Constitution saving throws.
But don't I need to roll to hit?
Nope.
No? Okay.
Okay, so
I have a chance of hitting all three of them and possibly Zira.
And possibly Zira.
I don't know if she's there or not, so...
Zira, just in case, please make an endurance saving throw.
It's just in case, don't blame me yet. In case doesn't mean I hit you yet.
Geoffrey, what's the spell attack save.
You mean spell save DC?
Yes.
You combine 2 different boxes.
You
It's
undermeant what I
15.
stood. 15. Both soldiers failed.
Ha! Oh wait. maybe I
The mage failed,
Ha! Loser.
and Zira succeeded.
See? I knew it. I didn't
Yay!
even know if I would hit her, but I knew it. Okay.
Zira did not take any damage.
Okay, so what is it? It's a D8? You said 1D8?
1d6 thunder damage.
1D6. Oh my god, it's a 6. I
Nice.
Roll it, I was like, yes. I was expecting to roll 1. Nice.
So you can't be certain what had happened to the mage. You're kind of firing blindly into the darkness.
That's what I do.
However, as far as the soldiers are concerned, they both take 6 damage.
Losers.
You see them grip at their heads as if their ears were ringing, and you can see trickles of blood coming down from their ears.
Alright. I guess
Very
that'll
nice.
be the end of my turn then.
Yeah. And that brings us back to Zira, who is currently in a world of darkness.
Hello?
Hello?
Who currently what?
Who's currently in a world of darkness.
Okay. Sounds like my life. Oh my god, I can literally turn the pages. This is amazing. What phone? What do you want?
What does the phone want?
Okay. Go ahead and roll to attack. And at disadvantage, I might add, because it's dark. Okay. You swing your blade, but it doesn't feel like it meets with anything. Your balance is thrown slightly off, as you were kind of expecting your blade to hit something at least. Okay. You step out of you step toward where you last saw them, and you are blinded by the sunlight that kind of filters through the ashfall. And you see both of them are clutching at their ears with blood kind of dripping down the sides of their head, and you are standing next to the dark elf that you had met in your prison cell.
Damn.
I believe you have one more attack available to you.
Kick.
Yes, the 2 soldiers.
Not me. Don't see
Hopefully not me either.
I'm a good boy.
Your choice, the Red Guard or the Breton.
Or me. Which one? Who's it gonna be?
Okay, go ahead and make your attack. Nat 20. Very nice. I won't even have you roll damage. You swirl around, and your scimitar, like one scimitar, slashes through the Breton's leg, and on the follow through, you come back around and you send his head flying from his shoulders.
Damn.
Wow. That is a gnarly 16-year-old. Tiny one, you need to calm down. Tone it the fuck down.
I see none of this.
You just see darkness.
You're like, I don't know what's happening.
The other guy is the only one left to oppose you. However, you have used up both of your attacks.
Well,
You can adrenaline surge. I forgot about that. Go for it, you insane little red guard.
Insane little record. Kill it.
That hits.
Damn.
$13 damage. You rush at the red guard soldier, and before he can even raise his blade, you send your own right through his heart.
damn.
Damn. Freaking savage.
Your ancestors and the gods would be proud. There is no one else nearby. Everybody else seems engaged in the combat. So if you guys would like to continue trying to stealth to the boat, or otherwise, since your cover was kind of blown, you can try to fight your way to the rest of the, or you can fight your way to the boat.
Let's continue to the boat.
We stealing a boat?
Yes.
I believe you guys were trying to steal a boat to either try to get to the ship or otherwise row your boat away.
Oh, I'm such a good boy.
row
I've
your boat
never
right the
done
fuck
such
away.
a thing.
What was that?
Row your boat right the fuck away.
Pretty much.
Sounds about right. Alright, let's just keep going.
Question?
wanna keep
I have
going.
answer.
What you gonna ask?
So darkness lasts up to 10 minutes. I don't know that combat has ended.
Yeah. We're gonna be on the ship and you're like, guys, wait!
You don't find it odd. Red Guards are no stranger to combat and war. And so you're asking if you find it odd. Not really. You're not wearing anything that would mark you as somebody from the Covenant. What they're seeing is strange person wearing leather armor in the middle of combat may as well be someone joining in to fight in the defense. Well, clothes, armor, either or. Because
Probably naked.
because of your family ties, like you weren't really wearing any like banners or flags or anything like that would show that you were part of the Covenant. So do you guys want to stealth the rest? Well, would you guys like to attempt to stealth the rest of the way, or just try to fight your way through? Zoe, we already know is like, yeah, Zoe, we already know is kind of like probably swinging her claws wildly in the darkness.
Someone hold me.
I'll still like grab like Lily by the neck like a kitten and just like drag her.
If you could find me.
Yeah, if you can find her, you can attempt to do
there,
so.
okay.
You can attempt to do so with an agility check at disadvantage because she's in a.
At disadvantage? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can do that.
Fear of darkness.
You can do that? I can do it too, I think. But let me.
Yeah, but I'm a Nightblade. It makes
Uh,
sense for me to look for something.
I'm a
in the
monk.
darkness.
It's magical darkness. It's not normal darkness.
Yeah, I know. I know I can't see through it because it's magical darkness, but still.
And given your starting
Oh.
role in this game, Duncan, I don't have a lot of.
Hey, I've rolled pretty well after that.
No, I've only ever heard one roll, and it was that one.
He got a 21 on his initiative.
It's initiative. You think that?
Can like Zoe like hear me at all? Right? She's just like in another dimension.
She can hear you,
Okay.
but she's also very stoned.
Hey, Khajiit, where are you?
I'm over here.
Not you, the other one.
God damn it.
Which one?
I don't know the. What's your class again? Haley.
I'm a sorcerer.
The magic one. The
It's
sorcerer
still
one.
Duncan.
The other one. There's two of them.
Yeah, but Duncan uses magic. It's still
I
Duncan.
know. Okay, but you gotta get my point. But Zoe, you can hear me. Like, are you gonna respond?
Somewhere.
Huh?
I'm on the ground somewhere. I don't know where. I can't see.
Quick, go into the darkness and
You-
kick wildly.
You can
Okay.
you can as a free or a bonus action like dispel the spell.
Is it okay? Is it okay out there? Is anyone else trying to stab me?
No.
You just
No,
stay there,
everything's
it's fine.
fine. Just get out of there or
You're
get
safer
out
in
of
the darkness.
The darkness away.
Okay. So, what you guys? It sounds like you guys were thinking about stealthing the rest of the way.
Sound like we were thinking what?
Cut out. Can
that's
you
neat.
please repeat that?
So you guys were gonna try to stealth the rest of the way.
Someone.
Yeah,
hold
let's
me.
stealth the rest of the way.
Independently.
Okay.
All right.
Don't look. Just move.
I'm going
Someone
to cast
carry
Pass
me.
Without
I don't
Trace
feel
again.
well.
Alright, I'll carry you.
Thank you.
I have to like roll for that.
No, you don't have to roll to carry her.
Roll
Yeah.
for-
Alright.
You
Well,
can
I'm a
maybe
big
use
muscle
your
guy,
own.
so I'll carry you.
And also, it's a 3-foot tall Khajiit, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think there's gonna be an issue.
I don't know if
Okay,
you're
yeah.
strong enough for even, honestly.
But I do want to know
I'm
how.
the dirty dancer. Of course I'm strong.
What was that, Zoe?
I'm the dirty
I do want to know how you're carrying me.
By neck.
Oh
Wow.
You're being scruffed again.
No, actually just kidding. You just like I think you can like just climb on my back or something.
No, dude,
Yeah,
like
I need to
football
carry my
carry, like,
drink.
under the arm.
Yeah, I need to carry my drink in my hand, so I just need at least one free hand.
Okay, I'll just chill on your shoulders like a kid.
Sure.
No.
If someone gets close to us, I'll throw magic at them.
Throw magic.
Yeah.
All right,
Or like that's perfect.
Duncan, are you casting Pass Without Trace again?
Yes.
Okay. So everybody, go ahead and make your stealth checks. Be sure to add a +10 to it. Reven.
Also, mentioned I took a sip of my drink, by the way.
Yeah. Reven, you will be making your stealth check at disadvantage since you have a piggyback ride.
Okay. So I get advantage for stealth or
Disadvantage.
oh
You get
disadvantage.
disadvantage, but you get +10 on your roll. So
Alright.
Do you want us putting it in the chat or no?
Bob's
Do I
putting
have
it
to
into the chat because she's got people in the car talking around her.
I know, but you wanted us to put initiative in, so I was just wondering.
No, you guys can call out your stealth.
Alright, I got an 11.
Okay.
I got 28.
Okay.
I got
Do I need to
25.
roll if I'm not doing anything?
I'll have you roll.
Okay. Wait, disadvantage for me. Okay. Da-da-da-da.
Okay. So, you guys managed to get the final third of the way. There is a dinghy currently run aground right on the shoreline. There are still some supplies from the Covenant inside the dinghy, but other than that, you guys can fit